Hello, Andrew. How are you?
Good, good.
Good. And your new friend?
Jackie.
So did you just meet Jackie today?
No, I met her quite a while ago. I've been out here for 2.5 weeks, but I was working with a different dog who just didn't work right for me. So I've had her for about 5 days now, I'd say, and she's wonderful.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about you. Where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
Okay. So this cold weather that we have here, you feel comfortable?
More than comfortable. This is needs to get a little colder yet, and I'd be real comfortable.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I think we're working on it. We can get colder here.
Oh, I'm sure you can. But Minnesota, I got to have my zero below or below zero temperatures, and I'll be good.
And how about a 1,000 lakes or something like that?
Land of 10,000, but I think it's something like 13,000 or something.
Did you grow up near a lake?
Actually, I live in the only county in Minnesota that does not have a lake.
Okay.
But I got to drive about an hour for a good lake or a half hour, but I do. That's all I do is a fish, anyways. So I know a lot of local ponds.
Fisherman.
Oh, I fish all the time, every
All right.
day, every day.
Wow, that's beautiful. So tell me a little bit about your background. You're from that part of the country, and what brought you into the service?
9/11.
Oh.
I have to say 9/11.
Okay, and that it had a tremendous effect on you personally?
Well, not personally, but as an American, yes, it did, and that's the big difference. That's a big deal. I didn't know anybody there, but it's just the fact that it happened. I was watching on the news when it happened and everything, and it was just a big deal to me. So.
Did you have any? You didn't know anybody, but so when did you join the service?
It would have been May. Or no, not May. I'm trying to think now. January 22nd of 2003. That's when I turned 17, and I joined.
Okay.
As soon as I was able to. I turned 17 before that, but by the time that everything got done, I joined in January, and that was the earliest you can join is 17.
Do you have other family members that were in service?
Not really. No, my grandpa, he was a B-17 pilot in World War II, but that's the only one that in my family. My family's not a military family. I just felt that calling, I guess.
What were you doing in the service? What was your?
Well, I was trained as field artillery, but when I was in Iraq, there was a lot of other things. A lot of people that when you go to Iraq, you kind of do what you have to do, and we did things like I was doing route security, QRF, zone patrols, FOB security, a little bit of anything and everything, and just we jump around and did what we had to do.
How'd you get hurt?
Well, I guess it was an EFP they call it. It was being like a roadside bomb. We were doing route security, and the bomb found me before I found it. We were looking for him, but so it's hard to see. It's not just like it's right there. They're off to the side, covered up, camouflaged. It's hard to see them, and no matter how hard you try, you don't see that stuff until it's too late. A lot of times.
That's not a landmine, is it? Is that the same?
It's worse than a landmine. A lot of times. Landmines are terrible too, but it's about the same thing. Same idea, but these are projected in a certain area, not one big explosion. When you talk about landmine, there's all kinds of different ones. When you talk about IEDs, there's all kinds of different ones. You can't categorize them. You can categorize them into different things, but there's always something different about everything, and you can't call it a landmine. It's rather than calling it an IED, which would be an improvised explosive device, you have to call it an EFP, which is an explosive force projectile, which is EFP, but it's projected in one direction, and it was projected towards our vehicle.
Did you have? I know you know where you're at Children's Village, right? And I don't know if anybody's explained to you what happens here at the Children's Village. How were you a lucky one? Did you have a good, stable upbringing? Do you think?
I love my family. My parents are still married, and I love them to death, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. They were great people. I by no means had we didn't have a lot of money growing up. We didn't have any money growing up, but they worked hard their whole life, and when you're a kid, you don't understand that. But once you grow up, it makes you just that much more proud of your parents that they were able to raise you on nothing, and they brought you up right. And I would never change the life I've had, even now without legs. I would never look back on that either. I love my parents and I love my life, and I wouldn't ask for anything else.
So now receiving a service dog from this place and having one of these young men train the dog, how do you feel about that?
Oh, these kids are fantastic. I really didn't know what to expect when I came into this, but when I started to get to know those kids, I was nothing but amazed. They're wonderful kids, and I could just sit and talk to them for as long as I want. We'd sit around and joke, and I was really amazed by them. I'm speechless. I'm a loss for words because there's no word to describe it. They're just that good.
Did you grow up with a dog?
No, we had cats. We always had cats. We kind of went through a lot of them. Either they're the kind of cats that didn't like you or the cats that did. But we still have 2 cats at the house. One of them is real mean and old, and the other one is real young and cheerful. So we'll see how they respond when I get home. I'm living with my parents for a little while before I move into my place again. So we'll see how they react to this one. The little one probably like it, but the old one's not going to be happy.
You know, I don't know the answer to this. I don't have a dog, so you sort of have to take care of the dog too. You got a team going on here now, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess my parents can take care of the cats. I'll take care of the dog. That's my responsibility. So I just until I get into my own place, which should be pretty soon, I'll be living with them and I'll be taking care of the dog. That's my responsibility, not theirs.
Okay. And so at this point in your life, are you able to do some kind of work, or what were you doing before you went into the service?
Well, that's a tough question. I was doing a little bit of everything. I come from a little town of 5,000 people. It's a little farming community, and I know everybody. I could tell you if I went back there and you came with me, I could probably point out everybody and tell their names. We see each other all around town, so there's a lot of people that own little businesses, which could be concrete or carpentry, electrician, plumbing, whatever. And if you run out, if you lose a job, it's a matter of one day, and everybody in town knows you lost your job, and they're willing to step in and say, "Hey, you want a job?" So I've been gone for a long time. I'm 23 years old, and once I got out of high school, I was working at a grocery store, working for an auction service, mowing yards, doing about 5 or 6 jobs every summer up until then. And then I went to school in a town about an hour away, and I was working at a factory every night, but getting a couple hours of sleep before I went back to school the next day. And I got out of there, and I went back home, did carpentry, did decorative concrete. I took care of kids who had mental illnesses and stuff, and I had a lot of jobs. I just jumped all over the place, and I guess I've been gone now since I was 19. I've still been active since I was 19. That's including mobilization, Iraq, and then Walter Reed after my injury, and then being back home, recovering there, doing physical therapy at the local hospital. And I should be out of the military real soon, but up until so far, I haven't really had another job besides the military. So once I usually wear prosthetics, and I can do about anything I could do before. I can even run in them if I want. I don't do it too often because it gets a little painful after a while, but I can work. I just don't know what. I guess for me, I'd rather just sit back and fish every day, but can't do that. You got to get up and do something else. So
but you have a lot of energy. I see you're a guy who nothing's going to hold you down.
I try to let it be that way. Sometimes it's kind of hard, but other times you just got to get up and do something, like I said before.
So when you I know you mentioned 9/11 and that kind of a thing, you know, and when you're over in Iraq, do you think that your involvement is helping in the peace process of life for the human race overall?
I wouldn't say myself. I'd say the men and women that are over there, all of them combined, are making a great difference. It's not just. Only thing is, you got to realize there's more going on besides Afghanistan and Iraq. There's a lot of other places in the country that people are being deployed to. There are people going to Europe and stuff, and everywhere. There's military all over the world. Everywhere else, it's just that the media puts so much focus on Afghanistan and Iraq, and that's not always right. Humanitarian things are going on everywhere. And it's not just about me either. It's about the people that are still over there and doing things. I would never say that I made a difference. I would say that we've all made a difference.
I'll say you made a difference.
You saw that I made a difference.
I can definitely tell you've made a difference on this planet Earth.
No, Iraq's made a difference on me, but I wouldn't say that I made a difference there. I'd say it was a team effort.
Well, a team.
I can't say myself. I can't say me, but me and the men and women
you're humble
next to me.
You're humble, but
it's the truth, though.
Okay, well,
yeah.
I want to thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for being here, for your character, and for your part in the world around us.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're just going to keep on doing good, positive things, and helps people. You know, you use the word humanitarian efforts. Okay, that's a beautiful way to say the kind of things that you and others have been up to. their humanitarian efforts. So I wanna thank you. So you're gonna enjoy your dog, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm already enjoying her. I've been enjoying her since the day I met her. So
beautiful. Thank you very much.
all right, thank you.